Hi, Earth people. Uh, I guess this is just kind of like how I update my website because people, if you don't have a website or you don't understand it, um, so thinklikeahorse.org. Um, this page is called Horseman Tips, and I've saved that file that I upload has index-2, so that's the name of this page. So when I want to edit it, I need to open that document, index-2 HTLM. So I'm going to add something to the website here, and I just figured I'd share it. So I'm working on a couple of videos where I'm cleaning my saddle and showing how I clean my saddle and oil it. And then I'm also working on refinishing a saddle stand that I got. So I got those two videos, but I wanted to add, because I didn't have anything on my site about how to remove mold from saddle. And I went over to my neighbor's, and he had mold on his saddle. And I go, dude, you got to get rid of that. And he's like, oh, it's just sitting out in the garage, and it's a pretty nice saddle. So here's how I add something, this website. And again, the Think Like a Horse website, I might post this on Think Like a Cop because I have Think Like a Cop website too, and I do the same thing to add things to that web page. And it's kind of a pain. It takes a little bit of time. People are like, why don't you have that on your site? Or you got a mistake on your site? Go, man, it takes a little bit of time. So I figured I would share it. So first of all, I type up everything I want to put. So I type it up here on a Word document. That way it spell checks it, grammar checks it. Saddle makers, I know, suggest using bathroom scrubbing bubbles. Why is this telling me? I must have an extra space. Okay. So that way it helps grammar before I load it onto the page. So I run it through spell check. This is telling me it's a cap. This is giving me a wrong spelling. I guess you can spell it either way. But MOLD is probably the most preferred. So I type out what I want to put on the website, and then I have to put in these HTLM codes, kind of like BR means a break. Basically, that's a return. So I want this double spaced on my website, so I have to put in brackets BR and BR. And that way it'll move this. If I just copy and paste this without putting the HTML codes, it just comes out as straight text. There's no nothing. So you have to put in these little codes. This right here means I want the paragraph to align, and so it's going to straighten this out on a website. Instead of having this edged where it's not straight, it's going to make this justified over here. And it'll do this for every page until I hit close. Anytime you have a start on HTML, you have to have a close it. So this is starting my paragraph, and then this is ending my paragraph. So I need to put this sign at the end of my paragraph here. And there it is. So now this is at the end. This closes my paragraph. So this tells HTML that I'm only adding this right here. And now I have to add it. And I've got strong and underline here. And this is for the title. Again, I have to make sure that if I make a paragraph, it'll automatically move it. If I don't make a paragraph, I can just put 2 breaks. And if somebody knows a program that would make this easier, man, that'd be great. So I need to have a paragraph here, start. So here's my paragraph start for this sentence. And then I want this information right here to be strong, which is bold, and U is underlined. And I'm going to go ahead and make that centered also. Okay, so I have to these are all starts, and now I have to have a closing on this, so I will just copy this and then put this at the end. And now I have to put little slashes because that means it's a closing. So I want to close the underline. If I leave out one of these slashes, everything on my page will be centered, everything will be underlined, everything. So I have to tell the code that I want to start right before this, removing mold from a saddle, and I want it to end right after this. So I'm telling it I want a paragraph, I want it bold, I want it underlined, I want it centered. So it's going to underline and center everything past this point until I hit strong slash, U slash, and that slash means stop right here. And then here I'm starting a new paragraph that's justified, and then I'll move on. So then after I do this, I have to open up the page that's loaded on the website. And it was index 2, remember? Index-2 was the page. So then I go here to this page, and this is what it looks like in text. As you can tell, it's got all the code for everything. So it's a fairly long page. And then this is what it looks like once I upload it. So if you notice, I have this box here, and these are all shortcuts to different things. So if you're looking for something on this page, I put these little boxes here, and if you just search the word, it will come up. And if I'm looking for bit warming, you can just click on bit warming or sheath noise or whatever you want to go to. Let me click on no fence corners, and it moves me down to the page to where it talks about no fence corners, and it just moves me right down there. But I need to set that up. So if you notice, I have a couple blanks here. So all I have to do is fill in the name. So now I need to go to this spot and load in a blank. So I go to my HTML page, and these are all my little shortcuts. So I need to go down to the bottom to where I find that blank one. Okay. I got to writing, so I must be close. Here we go. Blank, blank. So those are the two blanks you saw. I have to put a little number here on what I'm going to call it. So when you click on this, it'll move down to this #, whatever. So I just named this one mold, and I'm going to change blank to removing mold. I don't know if it'll fit. I'll put from saddle and see if it's too long. It might be too long. So this is telling it, if you click here, it's going to move down to this # mold. So now I'm going to go to the bottom of the page, because I usually add things at the bottom. That way I don't have to search and figure out. And I think the last thing on the page is image of war bridle. Let me go back to the page, and let me go down to the last thing. That's not an image of a war bridle. I think that's the image of an idiot transporting his horse. Oh, this is a war bridle. So there must be a picture right below that. So I want to add below this. I got to go back to the page. This is not a horse trailer. And I'm going to add that right underneath this line and right above, move to the top of the page. Let me go back to the page here. Okay, this is not a horse trailer. And I have the image there. And then there should be move to the top of the page. Move to the top of the page. So I need to put this right after that line. HR is that line you see. So I make a spot there. I'm going to go back to my Word document. I'm going to copy everything I want to post here. So I'm stopping there. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to move it to right underneath here where I want it. Now it's all typed in right here. It's got the codes already in it. I could add other codes afterwards. You notice it's a different type here. When I save this, it's going to ask me if I want to change it. So, but I need to put that, first of all, I'm going to put a couple breaks after the line. So I want this drop down below the line before this removing mode from the saddle. But I need to put a number so it knows where to go to it. So I always move up and find one and then just copy it. So let me find one. If I can't find one, You'll see what I'm looking for in a minute. Let me pausing. Okay, so you see this ID 199, name 199. I have to put that so when you click on a thing up top, it will bring you to this. So if you click on pressure or pain in a horse's back, I've got 199, that little pound sign 199, describing this is where I want to go on a page. So I'll just copy that, and I'm going to come down to where I just added that new info. There it is. And right here, I'm going to go ahead and post that little mark. But I got to change 199 to mold. Remember I had that pound sign mold? So that's telling that when you click mold up top, it's going to bring you to this point right down here to removing mold from a saddle. And now I will save this. Then it's going to change it to text only format, yes. And now I need to upload the page. So I have to go to GoDaddy, or I pay them a monthly freaking fee for outrageous, whatever. Then I hit File Manager. And now I need to load that page onto this page. So I go Upload. And then it will ask me choose a file. And then I go to where the file is at, index 2 that I just saved. I hit that. Do I want to replace the one that's already here? The answer is yes. Now it will upload it down here and tell me when it's uploaded. It's complete. So now that it's complete, I go back to my page. And you notice on the page, the last thing on here is this picture. Well, I'm going to hit refresh because I just loaded a new page and it should add that information. And there's my new information. And of course, there's problems. So you notice this is bold highlighted. I hit the break, so it's below that little line. HR is the line. And now all that information is on the web page, live from Think Like a Horse. So you notice these little diamonds here that are wrong, and I come across this quite a lot when I load. If I type in Word or some other documents, or I try to copy and paste something, I'll get these little errors here, and it's telling me that there's something there that isn't supposed to be there. So I have to go back to my page. I go back, open a page, find out where that is, and then look on where the first thing is. So it's right here on mold, grow mold. There's a space or some character right before mold, the fourth sentence down. So mold will not grow on saddles. I need whatever is in front of that. So let's see what's in front of that. Mold deform. Mold will not grow on saddle. So when I'm looking at this, there's nothing there, and I'm not sure what's there. So what I normally do is just delete everything, put my period, and add a space, and that will usually remove whatever it is it's finding. But that's only one. There was a bunch of them. So let me go back and find where the other one is. The next one is mold is. So there's a space right between mold is and then right around molds. So let me go fix those two. Let me find mold is. There's an extra space there. And then on both sides of mold, there was something. Where was that? Molds thrive. Was that what it was at? I don't know. But I'll hit. I thought it was mold thrives. Maybe it was. Molds play. Outdoors, molds play. So it's on both sides of molds play. Where is molds play? Outdoors, molds play. I'm not sure what's going on there. But we will just delete and put spaces in. So now we got rid of that. Now we're going to go molds play. Now trees, molds thrive. There's two spaces or something in between molds thrive. I'll go back to the page. Find molds thrive. Anybody see it? Mold is a fungus. Molds thrive. Not sure what's around there, but I'll go ahead and delete and just retype that area. What was next? Molds Thrive, got rid of those two. And then in through the air, once mold gets on a saddle, right before once mold gets on a saddle. So let me find once mold gets on it. Once mold gets on a saddle, and put a space. And now I will save this. I will go back to the control panel and reload it. Index 2. Do I want to replace it? Yes. It's uploading it. And it's complete. I'll go back to my page and I'll hit refresh and the spaces to go away. Damn, I missed one. This is why it takes so damn long. Okay, so after mold is a type of fungus, there's still something going on there. So I'm just going to go and erase everything up here where there is in mold and try to fix that. Okay, so here we are, and it's like mold is a type of fungus. I'm going to just erase all this and retype it. Mold. Mold is a type of fungus. All right, so now we'll save this. Re-upload it. 2. Yes. Go back to Horseman Tips. Hit refresh. And it should go away. And it's gone. All right. So there. That's how long. And of course, I did, I typed this all up before I put in the code. So it takes quite a while to add something to this web page and the website. So hopefully people are using it. I mean, I put a lot of information and time into this website, and I'll tell you, it's got a bunch of information about horses, and I've been adding just like that, for days and weeks and months and years. And this is just one page of several pages on Think Like a Horse. So anyway, if people don't understand it, I figured I would do it. So now you know how when somebody's adding something on a web page, just think I did that for all these freaking little shortcuts. Oh, I forgot to check my shortcut to make sure that worked. So let me move down here. Removing mold from saddle. So it stayed in one line. So now when I click on this, it should move me right down. I didn't test it. There you go. Removing mold. So it dropped me right to the bottom of the page, and it brought me to where I wanted to go. So everything's working. Anyway, that's how I add stuff to the website. A little something that most people probably don't see. Well, in that there, buddy, Mr. T, you're good boys.